This is Paul. Yes. I think that the birth of a baby is so important and the nutrition that they received after they're being born. Yes. And it's one of these situations where somebody said, well, we're going to have to control them and we don't want them talking. We don't want to hear any babies crying and we sure don't want to hear them say anything. Now, when you have the availability of magnetizing different substances so that you could choke me, yes. Somebody's always evaluating what substances can be magnetized and then how to coat the mouth and well, the breathing tube. Yes. As if, well, we don't want to hear babies crying. Now, I've had a real problem with this because I think that if a baby does cry, it's good for them and it helps with their breathing. So, now let's say you gave birth to an infant, yes, and you're the actual OB/GYN or the physician that performed the actual birthing of the baby or the C-sections, yes. Why don't you get me those too? And exactly how many women did use formula or some sort of baby food that you thought, well, it's kind of like cream of wheat. It's like a powdered substance. Yeah. Now, I know you don't want to enforce my rights to have children because you don't want to hear them crying. Now, I had documented that my rights are being violated and kind of been looking at things from the perspective of being a father and how I wanted to sue you. Now, it would be a big crime to put anything in the food supply that would obstruct a toddler from talking. Yes. Now, there's this whole idea of, well, we just don't want to hear children. We have to have them because we have to have some sort of prodigy. Yes. Somebody that can take over the family business when you're too old to run things yourself. And I kind of thought that I would be having some infants. And then, of course, I asked the volunteers, I said, would you mind nursing, as in lactating? Yes. And possibly 2 to 3 times the amount of milk that an infant would actually digest. But there might be women that say, no, I won't do it. I'd rather you. What'd you do? You decided to use baby food as your magnetized substance where you were going to sew in the electric grid, or was it 3G, or was it bank satellite? You know, could you get me the drones of Homeland Security? I know we invested a lot in drones. Yes. And then there's that metal detector that uses magnetism. Yes. And then, oh, I just want to know where they're at. I know that when I go to court in Jefferson County, to the cell hearing on January 4th, they do require you to go through a metal detector, and it uses magnetized magnetism, yeah, to locate any and all weapons that you might have. Yes. And then there's the metal detectors of Homeland Security. Could you get me the actual travel arrangements of every birth certificate for the last 20 years? I just wanted to know, did you take little Johnny or Mary to the I just needed to know. As a new mother, did you decide to go through an airport where your little baby was magnetized? Now, I know these backscatter machines. Yes, the naked magnetism, I tell you that. Let's say, okay, you had a baby and you were using formula because you as a mother decided that you didn't want to nurse your infant. Yes. And you decided to go visit somebody and you went through, uh, could you call Mexican?